Okay, page 230 on your workbook. And this is going to be exercise 1. In New York State, there is a 5-cent deposit on all carbonated beverages, cans, and bottles. When you return the empty can or bottle, you get a 5 cents back. And I just had this example, I got it from the internet, of what it looks like. Usually on the glass bottles, you can see which states give you money for the bottle. Like this one, it says California, gives you a cash refund of 10 cents, right? Some states don't do that. So this is why it's only specific one. This one is for, I was able to find that one for California. But here, the problem that we're working on, it says New York. They give you an amount of 5 cents per carbonated cans and bottles, which is kind of nice because they do it for recycle. We're going to be using the table. Please pay attention to your titles, number of containers returned. It will be organized right here. And then the refund in dollars, we're going to be using money on this side. Using your table really helps you to organize your data and your information. And not only that, but to see the patterns that we're going to need to find the expression and to solve the questions. So reviewing, for every 1 container, you're going to get 5 cents. Now, when you're dealing with money, you have several options to represent that. You can say 5 cents using the symbol. Of course, you can also write it 5 cents. And then you have the one with just numbers, which is 5 cents. If you think about, we have decimal, 0, and then 5 cents because it's in the 100 place, right? So let's go ahead and write that. We're going to stay with using decimals so that way you feel more comfortable whenever you're using with decimals. Please don't write just 5 by itself because that can be interpreted like $5. Try to make sure that you write either 5 cents so you know it's cents or just do the decimal. But try to be with me. Do the decimal so that way you don't get confused when I'm doing it. For 2 bottles, 5 cents and 5 cents, it will give me 10 cents, like a dime. For 3 bottles, it will give you 15 cents. For 4 bottles, it's going to give you 20 cents. And now you see the pattern that I'm counting 1 bottle at a time, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you see that there's an increase of 5 cents every time. But what happens? We break the pattern now. Now we went from 4 bottles all the way to 10. And I want you to keep back, and remember when we did at the beginning of the school year, we did ratio tables or rates, that we learned how to analyze the table on the pattern going down, or how do you get from one point to the other, or combining to get the answer. That's what you can do here. Like you can go from here to here. We already know that it increases 5 cents every time, every bottle. Or you can just go multiply it. 1 times 10 gives you 10. And whatever you do to one side, you do it to the other side. So 5 cents times 10. I'm going to do the math here. 5 cents times 10. I'm just going to bring this 0 here. I'm going to bring it down here. And then I'm going to do 1 times 5, 1 times 0, and then 0. And then you got to look at how many places after the decimal. And that is 2, right? The decimal becomes very important. So that gives me equal to 50 cents. Which makes sense, right? If you think 4 bottles is 20 cents, add 1 more, that gives you 25 cents. 5 and 5 gives you 10. Oh, makes sense. Making sure that you put the decimal in the right place. How do you get now from 10 bottles to 50? Well, how do I get 5 to 50? I can count by tens, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 bottles, or I can go from 1 times 50. There's many ways. If you think of the strategies that we used at the beginning of the school year, that's gonna really help you. So I am going to use some mental math. I am going to use mental math because sometimes if you teach your brain how to do this, it's much easier. Like for 10 bottles, you're gonna pay 50 cents, right? If I do another 10 bottles, that's gonna be another 50 cents, so that's 20 bottles. 30 bottles is another 50 cents. 40 bottles, it's another 50 cents. And then 50 bottles will give you another 50 cents. This is like if you're thinking in your head, right? So in 20 bottles, it's just $1. Another 20 bottles, it's another $1. And then another 10 gives you the $2.50. So this is $2.50, or you can say 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 bottles. 50, counting by 50, right? 50 cents, $1, $1.50, $2, $2.50. This is what I say that is the mental math can be much easier. I know we had to write it so that you can see it, but if you teach your brain how to do this more frequently, it's gonna help your brain to be more powerful and do things faster. The second option that I recommend that you do is that you do the 5 cents times 50. Okay, so we're gonna multiply the 0 times everything. I'm just gonna put the 0 here. This is the shortcut, right? And then I'm gonna do the 5 times 5, 25, carry 2. 5 times 0 is 0, plus 2 is 25. And then 5 times 0 is 0. Then you're gonna be looking at your decimal. You go 1, 2. Your decimal is going to be right here. So that's gonna give you the $2.50. And then to make it 100, just do double. Double 50, 100. Double 250, that is $5. So if you notice, we were multiplying whatever number of bottles that you had times 5 cents, right? So you're gonna do whatever number of bottles times 5 cents is gonna give you your expression. And that is going to help you answer the other questions. So let's look at the question B. If we let C represent the number of cans, what is the expression that shows how much money is returned? And we already have the expression right here. Now, I wanna write the expression that we wrote on the table, but I also wanna remind you the other equivalent expressions, which is like 5 cents. C. That would be the other expression, because remember, any number next to any variable, it means multiplication. We don't even have to write the times anymore. Use the expression to find out how much money Brett will receive if he returned 222 cans. You see, this is where the expression is gonna be very useful. Instead of writing C for cans, we're gonna write the 222 cans times the 5 cents. Okay, what I am going to do is I am going to do my, okay, I want to do the multiplication on this side. I'm going to do 222 times 500. If I do 5 times 2, gives me 10, carry 1. 10 plus 1, 11, carry 1. 10 plus 1 is 11. And then we know the trick, right? This 0, just add it here. This 0 here, just add it here. Then count how many places after the decimal, and that's 1, 2. So we're gonna go 1, 2 right here. Write the decimal right there. There we go. And that, if you're thinking money, that's $11.10. And it kind of makes sense if you think of estimation, trying to see if your answer makes sense if you wrote the decimal in the right place. If 100 is $5, 200 is $10, which is very close to what we got for 222, right? So this is $11.10. for the 22 cans. If Gavin needs to earn $4.50 for returning cans, how many cans does he need to collect and return? So now it's backwards. Now they give you the money, and you gotta come up with the number of cans that you need to collect. So here, I'm gonna just write the expression right here. Cans times 0.05. Okay, and we need to figure out how much is $4.50. Okay, so what are we gonna say? One number times 5 hundredths give me 450. That's a tough one, right? So here you might not be able to do it by your, using your head or mental math. You're gonna have to depend on the mathematical procedures. But you can use your table to kind of figure out what your answer kind of should look like, right? Because $4.50 is very close to $5. So if 100 is $5, so you get an idea of how close your number should be to 100. Maybe not over 100, because then you're gonna go over $5, right? So use your mental math. So instead of multiplying, we are going to divide $4.50, and we're gonna divide that by the 5 cents. Now here you're gonna have to go back and remember the rules that your divisor cannot be a decimal. It has to be a whole number. This is gonna be a quick review, right? Move the decimal to the end 2 places, move the decimal to the end 2 places. So now you're gonna have 5 divided by 450. That's after you have moved the decimal in the right place. Okay, we cannot make groups of 5. We only have 4. Now we gotta look at 45, and that goes how many times? Yep, 9 times. 5 times 9 is 45. Subtract it. Bring the other 0 down, and you add a 0 on the top. So that equals to 90 cans, which we said it had to be close to 100, but not over right here. So that makes sense. So you need 90 cans. So let's write it. You need 90 cans. Okay, moving on. Got a little messy there, right? Let's look at the next one. How is part D different from part C? Okay, so this one you may want to use your own words, or you may use the following description. Part C, you needed to multiply by, I'm going to say the 5 hundredths to find the amount of money. And on part D, you know what, I'll do a different color. You needed to divide by 5 hundredths to find the number of cans needed. Okay, the only thing that you need to notice that in one you were looking for the amount of money, and that is when you multiplied, and on the other one you should have noticed, let me see, and the other one you should have noticed that you divided to find the number of cans. Okay, so that will be a little different.